Hey everybody, it's Jennifer from the library. I'm here to talk a little bit about Banned Book Week. This year's theme for the week is Censorship is a Dead End, Find Your Freedom to Read. The reason we have Banned Book Week every September is because there are people who do not like parts of books and they don't want everybody to read them. So I'm going to go, here's a pile of teen ones. I'm going to go quickly through kind of why they're banned, what they're about a little bit. This is a very small portion to a much bigger stack of books. And it goes back quite a long time. So this is Judy Blume's Forever. This book was published in the 70s, I want to say, 1975. And it's about sex. First time a girl has sex, it's a sex-positive story. People don't like teenagers reading about sex. That is a common theme. Another common theme is drugs. So this is another old book, and the cover is terrible, but go ask Alice. It's an anonymous story, and the whole point is Alice could be anybody. This one was written in 1967. It's about drug use. And if you like this one, there's lots of other ones like this. There's Jay's Journal, and there's a whole slew of other anonymous diaries from teenagers around the world. Alright, On the Devil's Court by Carl Duker. Religion is another big one. And in the devil, obviously he's selling his soul, and people don't like that. It's highly frowned upon. But it becomes a much better athlete on that one. Obviously, basketball on that one. Sonia Sone's What My Mother Doesn't Know. This is a novel in verse. So it's a very quick novel, but again, there's some language. Language is another common one, and there's some talk about sex. And it's about Sophie and her first boyfriend and things that her mother might not exactly know about her and her first boyfriend. Joan Green's Looking for Alaska is about boarding school. There's some friendship, there's some romance, there's drama, and this one there's some sexual content, which actually when I first read it went straight over my head. But that one's banned because of that. Suzanne Collins' The Hunger Games. Violence is another one. A lot of people take objection to the violence in this story with the children killing other children. So and it goes through all three of these books were also banned. Speak. This is a big one from Lloyd Halls Anderson. Melinda was raped in this book, and it's her coming to terms with what happened, how it happened, and what she can do to prevent it from happening again. And of course, there's a little bit of language in this one, and sexual content. David Leviathan, Two Boys Kissing. This is a classic story. But another big thing besides the sex and drugs and language is LGBTQ+ storylines that people do not like. So this one is frequently banned and objected to. A bad boy can be good for a girl. This one again is a novel in verse. And people have a problem with sex, drugs, and language in this book too. Sarah Dessen, Just Listen, is a story about a girl who is going through things. She's kind of using music as a coping method to get her through some difficult times. And this one is, again, sex and language. And finally, Glass. This is Ellen Hopkins. She's the author of Crank. Crank is the first book. Glass is the sequel. This is actually the story about how her daughter got hooked on meth. So it's a very true story. But again, drugs, people don't like. Teens read about those things. So these are some of the reasons that books get banned. Sometimes it's the authors were invited to speak at a school. Sometimes they get disinvited to speak at schools. Sometimes these books get pulled from school shelves or public library shelves or get moved around. This is not a new issue. As you can see, we've had books from 1967 being banned. or challenged, and it goes from picture books all the way up through adult books. And we'll show you an adult book display in a minute. So there you have it. The reason we celebrate Banned Book Week is because we want you to be able to read whatever your heart desires.